All right, here's our Dave Naylor from the AFC Championship game in Baltimore. Dave, we kept hearing about how this Chiefs team was different than past editions, but even in a defensive struggle, Patrick Mahomes was still the difference, wasn't he?
He certainly was. And you remember all the talk this playoff season about get Patrick Mahomes away from Arrowhead Stadium. He's never had to go on the road at playoff time. Well, he did it last week in Buffalo, and he did it this week in Baltimore. Never looked intimidated, really, from the opening kickoff. I mean, when you think about this, was the #1 scoring defense in the National Football League here in Baltimore. He comes on the road and takes the first 2 drives and takes them both to the end zone. I mean, he was 12 for 12 to begin the game, 20 of 25 by halftime for 160 yards. It was a masterful performance, especially when you consider Kansas City didn't run the ball particularly well on defense. On offense today, Isaiah Pacheco averaged fewer than 3 yards a carry, so a lot of this game did fall on Mahomes. He turned into a little more of a game manager in the second half as they were managing the risk with the lead, but it was a big game player coming up at the best in a big game, and ultimately it was the Kansas City defense that was the other part of this show. We kept hearing all season long that, yeah, this team can score, but it's the defense that is really the headliner on this, and to take a team like Baltimore that had averaged 28.3 points a game during the regular season and hold them to just 10, that equals the fewest points they scored during the entire regular season, so the defense really did its job today as well.
And then when we look at Baltimore, Dave, the offense held to 10 points for the first time since October the 8th. What was the downfall of the top-seeded Ravens on Sunday?
Well, it really started with their inability to run the ball. I mean, they ran the ball just 16 times today, and they averaged about 160 yards a game. That's first in the National Football League rushing. They had about half of that today, and that really had them playing behind the sticks, as they say. They were in a lot of second and third and long plays, and ultimately that's not their comfort zone. The other thing that the Ravens have done very well, I mean, this is a top 5 team in the turnover margin, and playing a team in Kansas City that was behind in the turnover margin throughout the regular season. And ultimately, you look at one of the things that was in the formula for Kansas City to win this game would have been the turnover margin. Baltimore gives it up 3 times, of course, once in the end zone and once on the goal line. When you're playing a team like Kansas City, that's an absolute killer. And look, Lamar Jackson may win the NFL. We expect he will win the NFL MVP award in a few weeks' time. But, I mean, 5 of 12 in the first half. He missed some open receivers, certainly in the second half. And really, even on the ground, did not have his best day. He did some magical things through a pass to himself, but I don't think when you look at the best games of Lamar Jackson's career, this one is anywhere close.
Would have to agree with you, Dave. The Chiefs trying to become the first repeat Super Bowl champion since the Patriots back in 2004. Dave Naylor, thanks for this.